Hey guys!
Hey,
Welcome to the Adulting and Fashion Podcast with your host,
Jazz.
and Dion. So today we're talking about is New York overrated, which is slightly controversial.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we're going to talk about Fashion Week, because we just experienced Fashion Week. It was a couple weeks ago,
Yes.
so once this episode airs, we'll be telling all the tea and everything.
All the tea.
Also, our experiences, like I've lived in New York, you visited.
Yep.
Almost lived in New York, so you can tell about your
Almost
experience.
lived, yes, and working just out of New York in general, just
Yeah.
based on my job.
And we'll just be talking about the ghetto mess of New York City. So,
Yes.
yeah, let's get started.
Yes.
Okay, so girl, you were just in New York City.
Mhm.
Low-key, I'm jealous because you had told me about it, and I was like, dang. Because I literally left, I think, the day before New York Fashion Week
You
started.
did,
Yeah,
yep.
because I was out there for a shoot,
Mhm.
and then I left, and I was like, oh man, I forgot. Like,
And I'm just as mad because I ended up landing tickets randomly through my job. And then right when they were like booked, like no extra gas, as soon as I got there, they were like, oh, we can have gas. And I'm like, it's kind of too late now. We're here.
yeah.
But that would have been a cool experience to experience with you. But
yeah,
we have more to come. So.
exactly. Next Fashion Week in February.
Yes.
So yeah. But okay, girl, tell me about your experience you doing New York Fashion Week with your company.
Yeah.
And also like the behind the scenes and stuff, because you had saw like kind of like the mess of it.
Yes, like the true tea behind Fashion Week. Well, I will say, obviously, with my company, amazing, flawless. But so I originally came out there for to do Fashion Week with my company, and it was thrown to me last minute. Like we were just talking as a whole team and like talking about like traveling and where we going next places and how we're going to be flying into Together Week with my team. And one of the director was like, oh, we're going to Fashion Week and for the team, and I know they were pulling a bunch of product from our team to like put in the show. And it was like, oh, do you want to come? Whoever want to come, just let us know. And my boss pretty much approved it off, and I got tickets to go to Fashion Week to experience that with my company. And as I was going, I got to pull tickets from other shows. And then one show that I got into, I ended up meeting a bunch of influencers, huge by the way.
You saw who was that girl from Love Island?
I don't
watch Love Island. So.
Yes, I bumped into Serena and Cordell just walking out of Nobu. And yes, I was just as shocked. They were super sweet, and we took photos, and it was just so funny how I ran into them, but also not shocking because it's Nobu.
Yeah.
And we're in New York.
Yeah.
Were
you uptown or downtown?
We were downtown.
Oh, okay. I haven't been to that one.
Yes. It was really nice. Nice.
Gotcha. But girl, so like I remember you were telling me how like you would just meet random people and they'd be like, oh here, like here's a ticket or whatever,
Yeah.
here's backstage, like
Yeah.
because I've seen like honestly nowadays it's become much easier to do stuff for Fashion Week than prior years.
Yep.
I feel like prior it was just all very like who you know is who you know and
Yes.
like how you can get in and stuff like that. And I feel like that's what made Fashion Week kind of special. It's like
Yes.
the exclusivity of it, and now it's like. Anybody can go in. I've been seeing like influencer, like micro influencers.
Yeah.
Like, I'm an influencer or whatever, and they get in or whatever because they're on the media side or whatever. And I'm like, okay, well,
Like, no, yeah,
anybody can get in now.
Right, and I didn't expect how easy it can be. And I got word up from one of my senior designers on the team. She was letting me know because she actually is from New York. She lived that moment, and she'd been in and out of New York Fashion Week. And so she was kind of giving me the little tips on it and stuff because she used to like crash a bunch of shows. She used to mention like with her friends. And so she was giving me kind of like word up on it. And I was like, okay, that's noted. So I was thinking of the shows when I was reaching out to New York Fashion Week for some tickets. And also to pay for myself. So I wasn't trying to be like, look, I'm with such. No, I was actually paying out my pocket. And as I was going to this one fashion show that I attended, I met some beautiful influencers, super huge on social media. And we connected, and it was really nice. And then they were like, hey, everybody there, like down from the influencer, the people that was watching, down to celebrities, like all super sweet. like they were like, oh, if you want to go to an after party, come with me, or here's a ticket to the next show, I'm not going. And I was like, oh wow. I was like, but also I was scared because I'm a Virgo, and I'm like, if your girl ain't on the list, then I'm not showing up because I'm not about to
That's
get turned
embarrassing
away.
if you show up to a place and you're not on the list and you're like,
And you get turned away, or
yes.
they like looking at IDs and stuff like that. So I was like freaking out. So I was like, girl, can I get, so what's your full last name? Like, what's your middle name?
Right.
Like, give me the T, give me your ticket. And lo and behold, all I had to do was give a name. I was fine. They wasn't checking nothing or anything. And yeah, it was just super easy. You just walk in. And honestly, also just, and I was speaking among somebody next to me, and they were like, it's more about like what you have on too.
That's so true.
If you're like having like really nice, like a real nice fit on, or something designer, something to catch somebody's eye, they're easy to flock to you, and then all of a sudden you're in. And so I was like, that's crazy. Because when I went to the show and I was wearing that lovely dress by Overrated, and you know, I was getting so many people coming up to me. We were starting conversations because I was wearing the designer piece for the show, and that's how I was able to, you know, grab on to other people afterwards. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy. It's all about like how you present yourself, what you're wearing, and it just goes so far from there.
No, yeah, literally, because I have a few friends who are like influencers, and they honestly wear the craziest outfits and go to those places outside of the fashion show. Yeah. They don't even have tickets to go into the show, but they'll be outside the fashion show just to get photography. Yeah. Like just to get their photo taken. That's it. And they have like an amazing outfit or whatever, and they're just like getting pictures. Like I have one friend. Yeah, it's just content. And then I have one friend that actually got on one of the like what's it, like behind the scenes, like street style for like on Vogue or whatever. So like her picture got in and stuff. And I was like, okay, good for you.
Yeah, because some people are like, if you don't show, like at least get into the shows, you could go to the locations and just get your shots.
Yeah, literally.
And so it were people like, because New York Fashion Week on the site, they would drop obviously the locations where the shows are being held. So you just go there, take your shots for, you know, get your pictures in and leave.
Yeah,
and
literally.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people are just going for the pictures.
Honestly though, at
the pictures. And
honestly,
that's it. The content.
Literally. I feel like that's what I would go for. Like, it's the content.
It's the content. It's 100% the content. Unless I'm like really sold on that designer and I love and I want to buy the next piece, 100% down. Yeah. But for the most part, everybody is going for content.
Yeah. I feel like it's such a there's like a designer rivalry. Rivalry. Can't pronounce that word.
Rivalry.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Between like established designers and like the new emerging designers, and I feel that like this sounds so bad to say, but like these established designers, everything's very commercialized and very, you know, it's like the same every season, and it's like I feel like that's what makes New York Fashion Week kind of a little boring. Is that you kind of see the same things, and it's like, okay, well you see Tori, you see Coach, you'll see, you know, Tommy Hilfiger, and it's like kind of the same collection like over and over again, and I'm like, okay, well let's see something new, something exciting. So that's why I've been like looking at more the younger and new and up and coming designers, because they're coming out with, you know, new concepts, different ideas, something that's like, you know, more bold and avant-garde than what you wouldn't see.
And it's easier to, you know, get that because a lot of, and I think that's why another thing what I love about New York is all the artists and designers that are there. They have free shows that you can go to. Yeah. So if you want that emerging designers, those new ones that are up and coming, you can get that 100%. And then the ones that are selling their tickets is not as much as what you would pay for New York Fashion Week, which can range from literally $2K all the way to like $20K for a ticket. So like that's why I love New York so much, because it's not a small spot where it's hard to like find local designers or who put on these shows. Like it's happening literally like through that week of Fashion Week. You could go to all these open shows, and the first show that you'll go with, you'll probably connect to a next one, and then they'll tell you about that next show and you'll be getting into that show. So it's so easy to get into that and go to more shows with the emerging designers versus the ones that have a big name for itself. So yeah.
Okay, so like when you were there, did you see that there was like some drama or tension between who's gonna be in the front row?
I have, and I think I even been in a situation where when I attended, I paid for my ticket to go. And so I automatically had like VIP, set front row, but also something that is often like they don't really tell you is that when brands show, they have their people to like do content, so they are the ones that come to the show and they sit automatically front row. So they'll wipe off the people that paid their tickets to push them to the back. So their people that are wearing their designs are sitting front row. And so for us that paid our tickets, we are pissed because we're like, we pay X amount of dollars. We understand that, you know, you guys have your people that you need to promote in the front. But I feel like that's where that not professional, non-organization comes in. That is where like they didn't reserve a section for them versus like they just built it where it was like, okay, when they come in, we're just going to wipe the wave out and set them and rotate people. So it was a lot of cattiness through that moment.
Okay.
And so that was more of what I was seeing, like the fighting for the front was more because they were bringing their people in to sit front row, but you have these other people that paid to sit front row.
Right.
That were getting told to get up and move to the back because of they have their people that needs to sit front row for the pictures and the videos.
Gotcha. Okay, that's messed up.
Yeah, and then down to like, you know, people that needs to make content, they're there, they're getting, you know, asked to come there, and then they're sitting, you know, in the back, or they not being able to, or they're sitting in the front for the first half, and then all of a sudden they're told to get up because they need to have their people sit right there.
Right.
Which is, so now you got the content creators getting up, you have the people that are, you know, paying money to get up just for the brands to come with their own people to sit front row, which is kind of bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's dumb. Okay, so let's move on from Fashion Week, because you definitely have talked a lot about it.
I know.
So, yeah.
It's so fun.
Yeah. I know, when you, because I saw all your content, and I was just like, dang, that looked like it was fun. You had a good time.
Honestly, I did have a good time. Like, I met new friends, and I met great people along the way. The energy, besides the bullshit that could happen anywhere, like through any event and show, I was able to make great connections, laugh, have fun, drinks were flowing, so it definitely was fun besides the little things that easily could happen anywhere else.
Yeah, makes sense, makes sense. I know, I wish that when I was living in New York, I took advantage of it, but since I was working, I couldn't like just leave the office just to go to like, oh, let me go to a fashion show, and it's like, no.
Yeah, and then just going there and just seeing other people working their regular 9 to 5, like, yeah, this is a regular day.
Yeah, literally. Like, people are in corporate suits, they're walking down the street.
Yes, they're like,
okay.
this is a regular day.
Yeah.
I forgot New York Fashion Week is today. And a million people are flying in, and it's hella crowded.
Right, exactly. You're like, why is there such bad traffic? And
yes.
It's like, oh, wait. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about living versus
working.
Yeah, I almost lost my train of thought. So, okay, I lived in New York for like 2 years, about 2 years or whatever, and I honestly feel, and this is so funny when I talk to other people, they're like, yeah, once they hit their 2-year mark, they're like, I'm out.
Yeah, I know so many people that do the same.
Yeah, because New York is a lot.
It is. It's so draining, probably, for the people that live there, because for me, from a work perspective, I get drained, like, doing what I have to do and then get out.
Yes.
And I'll just be like, oh, God.
No, literally, because, like, the week that I was there before Fashion Week, because I was there for the whole week, and I was like, and I was working the whole time, and I was like, I couldn't stay another week. I can't. I gotta go.
Meanwhile, you have to pay rent.
Exactly. First of all, and then if a hotel stay is already expensive. You're like,
God, like thousands of dollars.
Yeah,
like,
literally.
just to stay for 2 nights.
It's like, and it's like, you gotta be careful, because now it's like, okay, if you stay like a regular, I don't know, like some type of regular 4-star, 3-star hotel, so you gotta make sure that doesn't have bed bugs or anything, and it's like, girl.
Okay, and even the nicer hotels like are just so small.
Girl, you get like a shoebox.
Come on, like I legit was squeezing into the shower. I was like, really? But this is New York, so.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, like I'm happy to have the experience of living in New York. And I thought about it if I want to go back, and it's still like a maybe only just for career purposes. Yeah. And it's just like, okay, maybe I'll serve another 2 to 3 years,
right?
Dip and go to a different state. But like, I feel like for me, living in New York, it took such a toll on my anxiety,
right?
And like my mental health, and also I have a lot of autoimmune diseases, so alone took a toll on me.
Yeah.
And I've never been in a, like, I never had to be on, like, anxiety medications and stuff like that until I got to New York because it got so bad. And I feel like that's something that a lot of people don't talk about is, like, how much it really affects your mental health and how much it's, like, so draining, like, financially, physically, mentally. Yeah, it's, like, sometimes you have to think about, is it really worth it, you know, living there? So I don't know how some people do it. They're like 10 plus years or whatever, like transplants.
Yeah, or just like afterwards, they're just embedded in New York.
Yeah, they like ride or die for New York, and I'm like, girl, it's not all that. Like, chill.
Like, I mean, for a single girly, I could see it happening because, like,
you want your Sex and the City moment.
You want your Sex and the City moment. It's just you. You don't have to worry about, unless you have an animal to take care of. But, like, if you don't have an animal, you don't have kids, I can see the ride and the wave. And, you know, you're in your own little bubble. You're in your own little shoebox. You're fine.
Yeah.
But for the ones that don't want that lifestyle, yeah.
Like, I feel like the work-life balance is non-existent in New York.
Oh, yeah, no. You could throw that out the window.
No, literally. It's like going to work the whole day and then, like, going out, like, you know,
it's so
or
fast.
working more after work, after hours and stuff like that. And then it's, like, trying to have a social life, trying to date, trying to do whatever, and you're just exhausted. Like, there'll be weekends I'm just like, I don't want to do anything. Like, 'cause I'm so tired from the week of, you know, I'm like, I can't do anything.
And it's just so fast. Like, for me, from my perspective, going out there for work, it's like you have to, like, for me, like, just working there for that, in that couple of days, I'll be like, okay, this, and laying it out and hitting every mark, and I'll be, like, exhausted by the end of the day. So just imagine somebody living there the whole entire day.
Literally.
Like, well, not whole entire day, but, like, the whole entire time. Like, living there, I cannot,
No, I couldn't. Yeah, there have been times, like, so I'm not a big crier, but I feel like as I've gotten older, I've been more emotional. So
I feel like the tears come the older you get.
Yeah, they just come, and I feel like, because when I was a kid, I never cried like that unless it was, like, something serious happened or I was, like, sad, but now as an adult, I think because of therapy, I've been more, like, in tune with my emotions and stuff like that, but it's like, I'm an Aries. If you see me cry, something's really wrong.
Okay.
Yeah. So I remember one day, this is the day I just knew, like, it was time for me to go. But I was just crying I woke up crying. Yeah. Like, throughout the day I'm working, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, crying on the computer. Go into the city for a doctor's appointment. I'm still crying. Like,
wow.
I just couldn't keep it together at all. And it's just like, I don't know. And, like, I would call my mom and stuff like that. She thought something happened. Like, I broke up with my boyfriend. I was like, no, girl, we're still together.
We're still solid.
Yeah, we're still solid. But it's just like, I'm just having just really bad anxiety and panic attacks. And it's just like, I think it gets to you, as in, I feel like, to keep up an image to live in New York, to keep up with, like, the Joneses and stuff like that, finances. It gets overwhelming, and there's so many people that get into so much debt and living in New York because you're trying to keep up with a certain lifestyle and aesthetic, and especially in fashion, like, buying new outfits every party you go to or every dinner you go to or whatever, making sure that you look the best going to work and stuff like that. But having the latest bag, latest shoes or whatever, it gets draining. And, like, I feel like you get to a point where it's just, like, overconsumption, and you're like, is it even worth it? Right. And it's just sitting in your closet, you wear one time, and then that's it. So, yeah.
I couldn't.
It's a lot.
Yeah, and for me, it's like, when I was younger and, like, into, like, getting into the fashion scene, like, New York was, like, the big caller. Like, I was like, when I'm older, I'm moving to New York. Nobody cannot tell me nothing. And as it was creeping through grad school, then I'm like, and, you know, it was a new wave for the pandemic, and what was it, the economics, whatever, all of that shit just skyrocketed up, and I'm just like, yeah, New York is not it. She needs to, if she wants to live comfortable, because I feel like as you get older, you want to live a certain lifestyle, and you don't want to live as, you know, when you're younger, it's cool to live with a bunch of roommates and live kind of scrappy, and, you know, I lived that life, but...
Like, you hustling,
you're thugging it out. But then once I, you know, got, to my late 20s, it was more of like, touching what I touched with having my own, like, skyrise high apartment, very, like, giving that luxe feel. And it was breathtaking and also appreciative towards, having that to myself. But to know that, like, if I wanted to go to New York, I would have to be making, like, double times more just to live that small little luxury lifestyle. And I'm not talking about, like, the $1 million lifestyle. Like, this is basic lifestyle. This is just asking for granted.
Yes. Some marble, white marble.
Like, they give you a white refrigerator and think that's luxury. Like, what?
No, we're not doing a white refrigerator.
We cannot do a white refrigerator.
That's the ghetto.
The ghetto, for real. And some people out there that got white refrigerators, we're so sorry.
Yeah.
So sorry.
I used to have a white refrigerator growing up. And
Girl.
And it's so funny because, like, I remember that white refrigerator until I saw that scene in Nene Leakes on TikTok later on. And she's like, the white refrigerator. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
She really made the white refrigerator company go down.
Literally.
Like,
every Samsung, whatever company.
And I grew up through and through white refrigerator. And, it's no problem with me as long as the thing is freezing, the food, that's all that matters. But when I went out, got my apartment, I was like, all I'm asking for is granite, stainless steel, and no white refrigerator.
Literally. But yeah, it's like asking for, like, the bare minimum, and it's like you still are, like, broke.
Girl.
In New York. Which is crazy.
Like, even asking for a certain amount of square footage, you're broke. You can't even get beyond a shoebox.
No, literally, at all. Unless you go to Jersey.
Okay, yep.
Yeah. Because when I lived in Jersey, I loved my apartment in Jersey. Mm-hmm. Like, I had a lot of space. It was expensive, but I had a lot of space and everything. And it wasn't, like, as tight and cramped as some New York apartments. Mm-hmm. And it's insane because the amount I paid for a 2-bedroom. Yeah. I had friends that were paying that for a studio. Yeah. In either, like, Dumbo or some parts in Manhattan and stuff like that. And I'm like, does that even make sense? It's
it's overrated, especially with the prices, for sure.
Yeah. So, I'm like, do you think it's so overrated? Do you think it's worth it?
I feel like if you're young, go for it. I mean, if you're okay with living with 3 to 4 roommates, possibly a cat to save you from a damn rat that might not even help you out, go for it. Live your best fucking life. You ain't got nothing to live for.
No.
As you creep it older, and you want to, like, relax back, and you don't have to hustle that much, and you don't want to have roommates, don't go there. Because honestly, like, unless you're making a certain amount of figures, you can live in New York financially good, depending on, like, your standards. But yeah, no, I say if you're going just for the luxury aspects of what you see on TV and your expectations versus, like, what they project New York to be, you're gonna really struggle because reality's gonna kick in. But honestly, for me, just going out there on a work perspective and visiting, because I have friends and family live out there, I would say that you're gonna enjoy a little bit more and appreciate it more because you're coming in, you're leaving out. So you're getting it in, like, this is good in the moment, but then you get to go back to your sanctuary.
Yeah, literally.
And that's what makes me love New York 100 times more.
I feel, I would say, like, I personally think that New York is overrated. I don't think it's worth the hype at all.
For a fashion girly, it's definitely overrated.
Yes.
Like, you can scrap that off your book. Like, me as a kid growing up, I was like, oh, New York is it. Like, I have to be there.
Ride or
fashion, ride or die. No. Like, to be a fashion girly, you don't have to be in New York. You can be anywhere, parts of the states, country, and you can live your best fashion life. But to be placed in New York, or even think that to get opportunities, it's not just there. You could get it anywhere else.
Yeah, literally you can.
So that's what I see us saying is overrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't think it's worth it. Like, when you think about the cons, it just outweighs
Oh,
the
100%.
pros. So,
Mhm.
like, the only pro I could think of is that I love how there's 3 major airports, so you can fly anywhere in the world
Okay.
you wanted to, but it's like, okay, 3 major airports
Yeah.
when you can live in another big city,
Mhm.
still have access to wherever.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like figure out like what
Right.
you want to prioritize and stuff like
Mhm.
that.
But I mean, if you like trying to really upstart your business and you want to get like some good networking in and grow some people,
Go
I
to
would
New
say
York,
yeah,
yeah.
New York 100%. But far as to get that glam experience and just be that fashion girly, it's 100% overrated.
Yeah,
You could
100%.
just fly your ass in and get that experience.
Honestly, I feel like sometimes when you just fly into New York, you have a better experience.
Oh, 100%.
Like, especially
versus
just
living
there for the weekend, you're like, you're doing whatever you gotta do, you're seeing the
Yes.
events, you're seeing your people, having a cute dinner.
3 days is good for me and I'm out.
Yeah, literally.
3 to 4 days. 4 days is like stretching it.
Literally. I'm like, I stayed for a week and I was like, I can't do this again.
Like we're done. We're done. See you next year.
No, literally. And even like, just even trying to have like a cute, nice little walk, like a hot girl walk.
Girl.
And then I see rats running across and I'm like,
Man, like that show, it just showed my friends right there that I was not meant to be.
no.
I was screaming my ass down in Brooklyn when 2 fucking rats ran across. I said, yeah, I'm done.
Disgusting.
Packing bags, time to go.
Like, I'm out.
Yes.
But yeah, I think we pretty much answered the question for this episode.
We did. I think we went over too.
But yeah, New York is overrated.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna wrap this up, but any closing thoughts? Anything else you want to say about New York?
I love the people. You guys are amazing.
Really?
Yes, the accents is chef kiss.
Oh, not that Brooklyn accent.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I'm dead. Yeah, the people are alright. I'm just kidding. Let me not hate on people.
Oh, girl. Don't start nothing.
I know. Okay, so this is the end of our episode.
Yes.
So please follow, subscribe, and like our podcast and our channel. We'll have more episodes coming out every Tuesday.
Woo!
And follow us up on our social medias at Adulting and Fashion. And then our social medias, I'm Dawn Lauren Edwards, DON Lauren Edwards, on Instagram and TikTok.
And I'm Jazz__Thomas.
And yeah, so we'll see you guys next time.
See you in the next video, guys.
Bye.